inside the open three.
And it's key for them to get a good start here, isn't it, Duran?
Yes, it's very key. Let's face it, Neil, they've lost 2 games to this Ray South team, and both of them have been basically blowouts, so they really have to get off to a good start to gain some of that confidence and get momentum going.
DeJuan Hill with the big bucket, and it's 5-4 now. The Hornets on top by 1, and the Cardinals have gone to a trapping defense here.
Well, they're trying to get the tempo, the pace of the game stepped up a little bit, because North Kansas City is basically just passing the ball. They're not looking for the shot. They're just trying to run some time off the clock.
One thing in the Hornets' favor, Duke, is the fact that they have 4 seniors in their starting lineup, and if they're going to hold the ball to the last possible second many times, that's a big key.
Well, they've got to show some poise out there, and you're more likely to have poise from a veteran ball clubs and kids that have seen a lot of action through the years. But this trapping defense is what Ray South hopes will start turning up the tempo. You like to create things with your defense for your offense.
And they've done a great job of that all season long. We're underneath 4.5 minutes to play, first quarter. Down low, they go to Dillingham, but it's off him, out of bounds, and the Cardinals will get it.
Go ahead, Duke.
I was going to say, credit the fast hands of Hill that time. He got the hand in there and forced that turnover.
I was going to say that the quick feet, the quick defense by Ray South really made that a key turnover for him.
And the Hornets worked off plenty of clock and didn't even get a shot at the basket that time. Hill with it. High post, low post to Duncan. That is no contest when he has it down low like that.
Good pass, Vince Lee looking inside to Hill, and Hill has excellent position. He's got good hands, Neil. He's able to catch the ball, turn around, square up to the basket, and make the shot.
Well, and Lears got a 4-inch height disadvantage there. He's also probably given away about 30 pounds, it looks like. There's a lot of strength underneath the basket there for Ray South, and there's what their defense hopes to do, is create things.
Dillingham on the baseline, off the back iron, no. Keeping it alive inside is Mertz, and he's fouled. So even though Chris Mertz is only 6'2", Duke, he's in there battling the big folks.
The Hornets are doing a good job right now on the boards. They're getting second shot opportunities. And here's a good look at it.
You see the baseline drive right here. The shot is missed, but look how they come right to the glass. There's the rebound there. He's putting it back up, and he gets fouled.
Well, they're going to have to crash the boards every time.
And as Klaus tried to dribble out of the double team, he's out of bounds, and that turns it over, and Bill Durham looking like he's in pain after that one. 6-5 your score. Cardinals on top by 1. Lee to Hill. And he's fouled as he levitates in the lane.
He showed some hang time there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And the foul is on North Kansas City. I think they got Lears for the foul.
You see him go up right there. You see the hang time. He gets hacked right there on the elbow. I'll tell you, this is a very strong, strong Ray South team. They have a lot of tremendous athletes on this team. And these guys, you can tell, worked very well together and played hard all season long. This is the time now. This is crunch time.
Well, here's a guy who knows a little something about coaching, Duran, and being here in this particular tournament. 4 state titles for Bud Lathrop and his Cardinals. And his team leads at 8-5 now after DeJuan Hill cans both free throws. Trapping again out front. The foul is on Bowie.
Now, Ray South, after those first couple of possessions, is starting to pick up the tempo defensively. They're starting to put a little more pressure on the ball. You see the double teams that they're trying to pull. That time, Bowie coming up with the foul on the reach-in. But they're trying to create some things now with their defense. They're starting to put the pressure on in the backcourt as well.
Well, right now, it looks like they're in a 1-3-1 with Durham running the baseline and Bowie out front.
You know, the key to this game is that Ray South get that lead so they can keep the pressure on North Kansas City. Then they can sit back and play some trapping zone defenses where they give themselves an opportunity to sit back in that zone and play good defense.
Inside Duncan, it's just all she wrote down there when Phil Duncan gets the basketball.
He did it on both ends of the floor that time. He showed his quickness on the defensive end by coming up with the steal and showed nice touch on the basketball with the shot.
10-5 is your score. The Cardinals have opened up a 5-point lead here in the first half. 2.5 to play in the first quarter. Stepping in, the long jumper, Christie off the back iron. Durham way up at 5'10", but then a great save by Mertz off Durham out of bounds.
I'll tell you, a heads-up play by Mertz there, knocking the ball off the Ray South defender right there and getting possession for North Kansas City.
You know, Ray South is on an 8-0 run right now. They were down 5-2 to start the ball game, but they've really been in control as of late.
Way out high, Christie. Now Lears. And now to Klaus.
I tell you, Durham is so quick up front. He's everywhere. Where the ball is coming, you can see him penetrating, his quickness of his feet, getting always in position.
Klaus from outside. DeJuan Hill with the rebound.
If you'll notice, what Ray South has already done in the last couple of possessions defensively is they forced North Kansas City, as that one will go back to NKC. What they've done is they forced North Kansas City's offense about 4 or 5 more feet farther up on the floor. They're out behind the key trying to run things now instead of down in closer toward the key.
And they've had some opportunities North Kansas City has, but they're trying to be patient with their offense, and they're not really looking for that quick shot. They're waiting, trying to be patient, and run some time off the clock. But they have to start attacking the basket now.
Yeah, they can't play their offense this far out top. See how much farther they're out now than they were the first few possessions of the ball game?
And here's a steal by Durham, the length. And Derek Durham's first hoop. The lead is 7 now for the Cardinals. Well, it's a 10-0 run, and Duke, you talked about Ray South and their defense leading to the offense.
And we discussed the fact that they can't give up turnovers. That's already 5-0. And that's bad news. And every time Ray South has come down and converted those turnovers into points.
Klaus for 3.
Well, they need a bunch of that, don't they, Duran?
Hey, they sure do. And Klaus has got to start looking for a shot. He's a big scorer. He's averaging, you know, 17 points a game, almost 18 points. He's got to look to score to generate some offense for this team.
Durham for 3, and that will really quiet it down. Boy, Derek Durham now has 5 points, and after the big 3 by Klaus, Durham's in your face the other way with another 3.
That was a rather casual right back at you.
And we know for sure that North Kansas City cannot trade 3 points with Ray South. For a long evening.
Down low, Lears back out top to Christie. Now Klaus.
One thing that I think North Kansas City is going to have to do is Lears is going to have to show some offensive potential. Right now, he's just catching the ball and passing it around. When he's got the opportunities, and he's had a couple so far, he's got to take it to the hoop.
Time winding down, 3 seconds to go now, and it's good. Dillingham. Well, a big bucket by Bill Dillingham to end the first quarter. And it's a 15-10 lead for Raytown South after 1 period of play here at Municipal Auditorium.
I'm going to reach right down this phone and pull your lungs out.
Don't give me that.
I can't believe you say that. I really can't. It's a crapshoot.
And we're back at Municipal Auditorium, 15-10, Raytown South leading it right now. One of the keys, Duke Fry, for the Hornets, they got to light it up from outside.
Well, they certainly do, and here was the buzzer beater at the end of the ball game, or end of the quarter, rather. That was a 2 that got them back within 5, and so the last 2 times down the floor, they've gotten some outside points, the 3-pointer and the 2-pointer.
You know, Duran, this is an interesting stat here. North Kansas City, with their size differential, leading in the rebound department. But Raytown South shooting is excellent.
That's why they don't have very many rebounds.
Exactly.
They're going in.
When you shoot 67% in the first quarter, there's a lot of shots that are dropping through that net.
You know, you have a very good point there, Duran.
Yes, I thought you would see it my way here.
Down low, off the glass, no, by Mertz, and the rebound to Duncan.
You know, when Duncan gets his hand on the basketball, I don't think too many people are going to take it away from him.
He has put on some weight from a year ago as well. I mean, he is... A lot of colleges waking up and looking at him this year. Lee from outside, and a rebound to Klaus.
Okay, not only has he put on some weight in there, but he's really kept that spring in his legs. You see him right there blocking that shot.
Well, Mertz caught his shot after it was given back to him by Duncan, and is called for the travel.
Great defense. You'll see Duncan here getting in position. Look how he goes up, Neil, and looks for the ball. He doesn't try to just swat it out of bounds, but he knocks it back, giving his team an opportunity maybe to get it. North Kansas City travels.
He's double teamed inside, and a foul is called against North Kansas City. They got Lears on the foul.
But North Kansas City has to do that against Duncan. They've got to sandwich him and make that lob a very difficult pass to get inside.
You know, if they don't do it, Duke, Raytown South is going to do it all night long.
They're just going to feed it in there.
There's no one that can handle Duncan. They have to double team him.
Durham from outside, and when he's doing that, my goodness, they're going to open the middle up even more.
Yeah, you can't sag down on the inside when the guard keeps popping a three on you. So right now they're hitting him with the double whammy.
And Durham with his second three. It's an 8-point lead for the Cardinals. Dillingham with the ball outside. Off the cut, Christie, and a foul on Durham.
That's a cheap foul there. Durham's out of position, and he's swatting, trying to make something happen, and he's right in front of the official's face when he does. You see the pass coming right here. You see the hand swipe from behind. They're going to call that every single time.
They're going to get you every time.
Well, you saw JoJo Jones last year, and they had a great backcourt last year. Somewhat up in the air as to what would happen in the backcourt this year, especially at the point guard position, but Durham has really filled in, hasn't he, Durham?
Yes, he has, but they've worked really good together in the backcourt, Neil, and that makes a big difference. JoJo was basically a one-man show last year. He could take over at any time. Here they got the 1-2 punch, the inside and the outside game.
Man-to-man defense now for the Cardinals. Lears working against DeJuan Hill. Just underway in the second quarter, and knocked out of bounds off Klaus, and the Cardinals will get it.
Make that the 7th turnover of the ball game for the Hornets against none for Ray South, and each North Kansas City starter has at least one turnover already.
And the point you made earlier, Duke, about Lears, he's not really looking for the offense. He's really just dribbling the ball, but he's not looking to get his shot.
Duncan couldn't get it to go that time, and here come the Hornets the other way. Klaus with it out front, working against Lee. Down to Dillingham. Here's Lears, and Klaus for three.
Boy, he had a hand right in his face with Lee right there, and he still got it down.
It was good defense by Lee. You couldn't ask for anything better from a defender. He's right up in his face, but Klaus hits the jump shot anyway.
Klaus with 6. They're going to have to be hot from outside from three-point range, and with that three-pointer, they trail by 5. Bowie, Eric Bowie with his first hoop.
You know, the thing that's so strong about Ray Sal's is they get everybody involved in the offense. There's not one dominant guy out there. They're all average about 10 points a game or more. So when you get that many guys involved in the offense, Neil, you can spread it around. It makes it difficult to defend them.
Well, you know, you want to get it inside to Duncan, and he's the big guy, and you know if they lay off of him, you can just keep feeding it in there. But you're right. They can just go to anybody at any time, it seems like.
And a foul outside is against Eric Bowie on the play.
Well, I tell you, I like the aggressiveness of Ray South, how they jump on you man-to-man. It's similar to like what University of Kansas does in their man-to-man defense. They overplay the ball, try to make some big steals and big plays, and that's what you have to do when you're playing that tight man-to-man defense.
Second personal foul on Bowie, who was playing the tight defense right there, as the Cardinals are in a man-to-man right now. And replacing Bowie in the ball game for Raytown South is number 22. That's Chris Rowles. He's a junior. Klaus out high. Now Dillingham. Off the pick comes Christie. North Kansas City content to run time off the clock and hopefully hit a three-pointer at the end of that run. Klaus kicks it outside. Christie for three. Not this time, and the rebound to DeJuan Hill. 20-13 the score. Cardinals on top by 7. Lee on the baseline. Rebound to Rowles. And he traveled.
Tried to use that elbow and help work his way around the corner that time.
And as he was moving the elbow, the feet kind of slid a little bit.
This is one of the few times in the ball game, really, that Ray South has gotten into their offense. That shot was not really a good shot from the outside. No offensive movement to set it up, and you saw the travel follow it.
Christie in the corner. Lears. Rebound inside, and it's capped by Duncan, but he got him with the body. That is Jake Stweeve going to the bucket.
That's a good foul by Duncan. Otherwise, the guy gets an easy basket. But you can see once again, North Kansas City, here's a drop-in pass low right there to Lurch. And he misses the shot, but there they are right inside, going to the boards for the rebound.
And the good news is that Lears took it to the hoop, though. He had an opening, he took the shot.
And actually the first time tonight where he's looked for the shot.
And Jake gets the roll on the first one, and he's got another one coming. Just a sophomore, Jake is.
Tell you what, he's pretty well built for a sophomore, too.
I'm telling you. That's a pretty nice looking kit there on Jake tonight. as a sophomore. Misses the second one. Rebound to DeJuan Hill. And the Cardinals the other way now, leading by 6 with under 4 minutes to play in the first half. And Durham's going to pull them out high now and set the offense against the 2-3 zone of North Kansas City. Rouse splits the C, dumps it to Hill, out of bounds, off the Cardinals.
Hill didn't expect that pass, but that was a really fine pass.
Yeah, it was a great pass coming down the lane. It was a good job of forcing the action down the middle, coming through the lane, looking to dump it off for the easy basket. He drew the defense to him, but unfortunately, he wasn't waiting for the pass.
There's the turnover situation, and look at DeJuan Hill getting down to play defense against Klaus. I mean, he was just motioning, come on, I'm ready here. Picking him up in the back court. He is right on top of him.
And look, once again, Ray South has one player down below the free throw line working offensively. They've got to get their offense better set and push it down in.
And you see North Kansas City, how far they're starting that offense up front. You can't score points starting at half court right now where the ball is. You got to get it down inside.
Klaus holding up a fist and calling the play here. And he takes it into the lane, kicks it back out. Dillingham for 3. Rebound inside. Jake Steve, no good. And then the rebound to Rouse.
I tell you, Rouse has come in off the bench. He's been a very active player for Ray South. Inside, he's in the rebounds, he's making the plays, and there you see right there, DeJuan Hill with the inside strong move to the hole and making the two-point basket.
So he's shown some real athletic ability out there on the floor already in this game.
Playing the great defense, and he's got 6 points now to go along with that. An 8-point lead for the Cardinals with 2:14 to go first half. Steve out front. Now to Lears. And Klaus. Klaus has only put up 3 shots in the game, hitting on 2 of them. Now he puts up another one just outside the lane and gets the roll. Soft touch to run.
Well, he's their scorer. He's got to do that, Neil. He's got to look for a shot, and there he takes it to the hole. He did have a guy open underneath, but when you got to score, the baskets are going to fall.
Well, the one thing is, he at least took the offense into his own hands and pushed it down in. He penetrated, so they got things down in the paint. They haven't been able to get the ball down in the paint unless it's off a rebound.
This one's down in the paint, and dinner is served by Hickman.
I tell you, outstanding move by Hickman. You know, a lot of big guys get in the middle. They're afraid to take the ball and attack the basket. Hickman realized he had an opening. He took it, and he didn't waste any time.
Guys, let me tell you, in the district, he had some vicious dunks over there at Hickman Mills. This is Lears, and rebound by Duncan. I mean, David Hickman, Duke, was announcing his dunks before he did it. Here comes another one. That type of stuff happening. And so we'll see what progresses here tonight. On the baseline, Hill no good.
Hey, you put that tandem, the 6'6", 6'7" tandem in there, they're going to be tough.
Well, they're in there right now, Duncan and Hickman. On the baseline, Christie. Less than a minute to play in the first half. And the way things are going, the Hornets may try to work it down and just get off one shot prior to halftime. That's if they can keep it away from DeJuan Hill.
Oh, nice save there.
Great save.
20 seconds to go. Coach Durham calling for one shot here. You'd think Klaus would be the guy to take it. Either he or Dillingham. And they get it in the hands of Klaus, working against Hill. On the baseline, double team down there. Christie can't get off a shot as the half runs out.
They got to keep the ball up top. They dumped it down into the corner, the worst place in the world to dump the basketball. Ray South traps, and they get out of it.
And that's exactly what they wanted to do. They'd love to see that situation where they can pin them down there in the corner and take every option away.
We're at halftime, and the Cardinals lead it by 8. Back with some halftime festivities right after this. Down south, well, let's look at the statistics first.
Well, let me put it. You talk about people that you don't know. I'm not taking a pitch. You're not offending me. I've been called a lot worse than that. You talk about people.
I'm here at Municipal Auditorium in Raytown South, leading it by 8 over North Kansas City. And in the first half, one of the big helps that Raytown South, well, let's look at the statistics first. The Cardinals 59% Duran from the field.
Neil, they tailed off a little bit in the second quarter, but the first quarter it was 67%, and they've cut their turnovers down. They've only got 2 turnovers, so that's been a big key for Ray South. That's why they've controlled the tempo of the game.
And you know, it really helps inside when you get shots like this.
Well, inside, Duncan's been doing it, but here you see Hickman coming in, making a move, driving to the basket here, laying it up and in. They've been very strong in the inside game tonight, Ray South has.
Klaus able to get free for a few shots, though,
well,
Duke.
North Kansas City is still in the ball game because of Matt Klaus. He's got 8 points. Here he gets the roll on the inside when he gets some penetration. He's also hit 2 3-pointers. This one is foot right at the edge of the line, but he buries the 3, and his team is within 8 here as we start the second half.
24-16, Raytown South on top by 8. Klaus with 8 points in the first half to lead all scorers. Duncan and Hill had 6 apiece for Raytown South. Lee on the baseline. Now Durham. They find Duncan inside, but they knocked it free, and a steal by Lears.
Well, you're seeing Dillingham bringing the ball up court this time, a little bit different for North Kansas City, but this time, as you see, starting off the second half, they're getting their offense down lower, and they've got to do that to get points.
And Ray South is still playing that tough man-to-man defense. They're making them work for everything they're getting right now.
Klaus with somewhat of a hook, and then dishes off inside Dillingham.
That's what the penetration will do for you. You've got to get the penetration, though, before you're going to get those kind of shots.
And it looked like he kind of hooked him as he went around him, too.
Duke, when they get that penetration, it draws that defense in and opens things up.
And you get away with a hook, you take it.
That's right. Duncan doesn't need a hook. The teepee surrounded him, but he scored it anyway.
Boy, he's so strong inside, Neil. Just the arms he has. When he grabs a hold of that ball, you know it's not going to leave his hands until that ball is in the basket.
They try to enter it inside, but Hill swats it back outside. Now Dillingham. And Duncan clears the rebound authoritatively.
He was above the rim.
There are people who play below the rim, and then there are people who play above the rim.
I played below the rim.
Yeah.
And Duncan just kind of gimme that as he took it off the front iron. 6:14 to play in the third quarter. Duncan with it on the block. And a foul on Mertz.
What you call a skyscraper rebound. I don't know. Does he qualify for our all-do team, too? I'm looking at Duncan. He looks like he's got something back there. A little design. I don't know. He's an honorable mention, maybe.
Okay, I'll give you the honorable mention. He spins and hits. He's got 10. I'll give you honorable mention on the all-do team. But, Duke, we've got more than that waiting on you later, I'm told.
He gets style points.
All right. Klaus on the baseline. Now to Dillingham on the baseline.
Look how South overplays up front. As soon as they face up out there, they overplay the inside, the outside passing lanes, and they get really tough defense against them.
North Kansas City had some good ball movement there for a moment, and then they froze up and didn't continue it. They got to keep that going to get the open shot.
Well, Mertz has blinders on. He doesn't even want to look at the basket. Dillingham. And he fights for the rebound. Now Mertz does look at the basket and scores.
Well, the one thing that was evident in the first half was that North Kansas City, they were following up their shots and getting the second opportunities, and that's what basically kept them in the basketball game. And here you see once again in the second half, they're doing the same thing.
And a steal by Dillingham. And backs it out as he doesn't have the numbers. And North Kansas City trailing by 8. Christie to the baseline. Loses control, and a foul against the Cardinals. They either got Durham or Bowie. I think it's Durham they got for the foul.
You know, the one thing I noticed, you know, you look at the way the kids are moving there on the court. The court is awful slippery, but here you see them trying to split the defense and gets hacked on the arm right there by Durham.
Well, they really are using Dillingham more in a controlling role out front as the point guard. All 3 of the guards are able to handle the ball. Dillingham was on the line, the ref said. Rebound battle for Durham at 5'10", runs it down.
I tell you, that floor looks awful slick to me. You know, guys are slipping and sliding around. They really don't have good footing out there.
Well, this is a floor they're obviously not used to. They haven't had too many opportunities to play on a floor like this one. It's an elevated floor, and sometimes you come up with those. Oh, is that a nice baseline move?
Bowie with another 2 has 4.
A strong move in the baseline. Little head fake there. Goes to the baseline and takes it up strong.
You talked earlier about the good athletes they've got, and they're all showing it out there. They're very strong, very agile on the floor.
Oh, Bowie's a sophomore, and his dad used to coach at Paseo. Here's Klaus, nothing but net.
Klaus looks kind of frail out there on the floor sometimes compared to the rest of these players, but he's got a nice shooting touch and has no timidity out there.
He's got 10 points.
I get away with
You got away with it. I gave it to you.
Timidity.
Buy a vowel on that. And it's knocked out of bounds, and the Cardinals keep it.
They got away with one there. I don't know if we see the replay. We might see he kind of lost in his hand. I guess the official thought that he got it tipped out of his hand, but I think South got away with one there.
Hill off the back iron, rebound to Klaus. Down the floor, and for the first time this evening, the Hornets look to break, and they pull the foul against Duncan.
Well, Duncan was late getting back on defense and was forced into that foul right there, but give North Kansas City credit. They recognized the opportunity in the transition game and pushed it up the court. And as we can see the ball coming up, it was a good catch right there, and Duncan's out of position.
Well, that's what North Kansas City has to do, is take advantage of the opportunities that happen for them, but don't try and force the ball.
Vince Lee squeezes through, but they call him for the charge. And Bill Durham fired up about the fact that his player's taking the charge down low. And this is Klaus that stuck it out.
Well, I tell you, Klaus does a smart job here. He's got position. He realizes the guy is going to take the shot. He is going to have to jump into him, and he holds his position well. His feet were set. Good call.
And now the Cardinals in his own defense. Mertz not even looking at the basket when he catches it on the block.
And he had the position to move baseline with that catch.
Got it again. Finds Lears. They stay with it inside. The foul is against Lears. So Randy got the shot off. He was open in the lane, tried to follow it, and picks up the foul. And not too happy about it either, Duke.
Now here's a good look at it. He's got the open. When you talk about taking it strong to the hoop, that's when you have to be strong up there. You got to take it up high. Hopefully you draw the foul and get the bucket, but he was a little timid about laying that pass.
I was going to say that, Duke. He looked a little apprehensive about going into that basket strong.
Well, he knows he's going in the land of the Giants, too.
Shot missing by Bowie. Rebound Dillingham, knocked out of bounds, and the Hornets have it. So we're locked on an 8-point lead with 2:36 to play in quarter number 3. Bill Durham, the first time he's won the district, and he's been there 19 years. Has to be just a real exciting chance for him.
Well, it's exciting anytime you get there, and it obviously has to be sweet after all these years to have your team in there and playing for a chance at a state title.
And they've won 15 of their last 19, the Hornets have, to get here.
I tell you, hear about Bud Lathrop and all the other coaches around the area, but Durham does an outstanding job year in and year out.
Andy Christie with an outstanding job for Durham, a three-pointer. It's a 5-point game now.
Christie's second three-pointer of the ball game, and it was a big one. It puts his team right back in position.
Quietly, North Kansas City hanging on here. Hill from outside. Rebound inside Cardinals. It was Hickman that went high, and he's fouled.
Tell you, Hickman's got some springs in those legs. He goes up over top of everybody.
Well, Duran, I'm surprised we haven't seen more play from Hickman tonight. He hasn't seen much floor time.
No, he hasn't seen much floor time tonight, but you see him here in this play. He jumps up. He's got excellent position inside, but he takes it up strong and draws the foul.
3 guys all over him in there, but he does a great job of boxing out. You talk about position, and position is the key to rebounding.
Yes, it is.
Well, I'm telling you guys, he put on a show at Hickman Mills in the district. Just a few flashes that he was in there were nasty. Just a dunk show. Duncan on the rebound, and then Hill went up high, and it's out of bounds off the Cardinals.
You know, it's really nice when you can bring a guy like Hickman off the bench and he can score 13 points a game for you, you know, and you've got 4 players in your lineup that average 10 points or better. You got 2 more that are right there at 9 points a game. There's just so much balance on the Ray South team.
Well, and especially, he was considered one of the top 100 players in the country preseason-wise by Street and Smith. So that tells you what kind of guy you got coming off the bench.
And not only that, having a guy that's 6'6" coming off your bench and being able to move like he moves.
Now the Hornets are right in this thing. A 6-point game with 1.5 minutes to play, third quarter. Working against the Cardinal man-to-man defense. Hornet crowd trying to bring their North Kansas City team alive here to the baseline. Dillingham. And rebound to Hickman. Just over 1 minute to play, third quarter. Raytown South leading it by 6, and they back it out here. Bud Lather probably wants to look for the final shot of the third quarter.
I tell you, that's showing a lot of confidence in your team.
Running a full minute off the clock, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, this team is well in the game. They're only down by 6. Anything can happen. That's 2 3-pointers right there, so.
And already we've seen North Kansas City hit 4 3-pointers tonight. We know they can shoot it up from out there, so don't go away in this one. Underneath 30 seconds to play as the Cardinals wind it down.
Yeah, this is a little bit unusual strategy from Lathrop. His team, of course, likes the upbeat tempo, and now he gets an opening.
And Durham counts the basket. He's fouled.
I think Durham just said, heck with the clock.
Heck with the clock. Let's take it in, and at least I know I can draw the foul, and I get the bonus by making the basket. You see him up here. Look how he uses his body there, Neil. He shields the defender, gets the ball up on the glass quick, and gets the 3-pointer. But I tell you, it was almost close out front right here for a 5-second call.
Very close.
But you see him shield his body right there. He turns his body right in, knocks it off the glass. Now he's got an opportunity to make the 3-pointer.
And very importantly, that is foul number 4 on Lears, and he's one of their big guys inside. Rebounding Hickman, and he traveled. Well, the Hornets have 13 seconds left. Plenty of time to get off a good shot here before the third quarter ends. And Bill Durham pointing out the fact that they have less than 10 seconds to play in the third quarter. Christie for 3. Off the front rim, no good. Rebound Hickman. Durham at the gun, wave it off if it would have gone. Well, North Kansas City got it to within 5 in the third quarter. But our score at the end of 3, the Cardinals lead it by 8. We'll be back with the fourth quarter after this. His huddle right now, and I really got to believe, guys, that he has to like his position right now. The fact that he's down by 8 at the end of 3 quarters. You know, he lost by over 20 points in the other 2 games, so he's got to feel pretty good about this.
Yeah, he can't feel great, but he's got to feel better than maybe the last 2 meetings they've had. His team has managed to keep the tempo down. The points are right where they want them. They've just got to do a better job offensively of getting some scoring opportunities, and then they've got to crash the boards when they get them.
There's where it's happening, Duran.
Yeah, it is. Down in the paint, 18 points to 4. When you get easy buckets down inside, the high percentage shots, that's where it hurts you as a team. And North Kansas City has to be concerned about those inside points. Even though they've rebounded well off of their own shots, they really haven't stopped Ray South from the inside game.
And a game like this where North Kansas City trying to run clock, each possession so important for the Hornets. They trail it by 8 as we kick off the fourth quarter.
You know, this is the one thing North Kansas City has to be concerned about. Ray South, good teams pick up the pace in the fourth quarter because they know the game is on the line. Now here's where North Kansas City has to be patient and make some baskets.
Christie for 3, and it's a 5-point game. He's got 3 3-pointers.
Well, he plays with very little emotion on his face out there. Looks very calm and worked himself into good position, and he seems to be warming up at just the appropriate time.
And they need his scoring.
Outside Rowles. Now to Durham on the baseline. DeJuan Hill. 7 minutes to play. Duncan, all she wrote.
Did you see how Duncan got the inside position? He shielded the defender off from there on the backside. good entry pass in, and he makes an easy basket.
But Duncan did a really smart thing. He put his defender on his hip so he knew where he was. He was able to make his move off of him there. And he's got Scott O'Hare in there now. O'Hare hasn't seen a lot of time, particularly in this ball game. It'll be interesting to see what they do and how much they dump it inside and try and take advantage of that experience against inexperience.
Christie for 3 again, and Coach Durham not liking his shot selection or the time that he took it. And Hickman, as he takes the baseline, draws the foul against Mertz.
Well, Hickman that time made a quick move to the baseline and got the North Kansas City defender out of position and was charged with the foul. But, you know, coach has to be upset. You can't allow Ray South to beat you back offensively, because if they do, it's going to be tough because they're such great athletes and they can move very well.
Stolen by O'Hare. 6:10 to play in the fourth quarter of this one. Klaus takes it to the hoop. Knocked out of bounds by the Cardinals.
North Kansas City got a break that time. I think O'Hare may have been the last one to touch that as it went out of bounds.
Coach Durham just coaching away over there.
He looks like a man in pain, doesn't he?
just in tremendous pain over there. But his team hanging in there right now, trailing by 7. Christie gets a pick out high from O'Hare, now gives it off to Dillingham. Dillingham to the other side, double team, lets it fly. Rebound hits O'Hare in the shoulder, but then it's Christie that goes up tough and Durham fouls.
I tell you, it was a good block to me. It looked like a good block, but I guess the official standing right there, he has a better view of it than me.
Well, we'll find out. Let's see. This wasn't a real strong shot by Dillingham. He was double covered over there. The little guy gets in there. Boy, it did look pretty clean, didn't it?
It looked pretty clean to me. But you know, the thing was, he came down with his hand, and anytime he comes down, that official sees it, and he's going to throw that flag.
If you get that
flag,
spot,
where we at? Football now?
You are.
Yeah, I am.
I think it might be interesting if we saw officials out there on the court firing flags on a foul.
And knocked out of bounds. The Hornets keep it. Bud Lathrop shouting to the troops. David Hickman down low. 5:44 to play here at Municipal Auditorium. The 4A Missouri State sectionals here tonight at Kansas City. The out-of-bounds play, Mertz, and Hickman he didn't even jump and caught that one.
Well, Mertz telegraphed that pass. He looked right at his man, knew what he was going to do, and Hickman was able to read it in his eyes, I think.
So another opportunity goes awry for North Kansas City. They still trail it by 7 with 5.5 to play.
And you can see that Bud Lathrop is now going to run some time off the clock as well. He's starting to spread his offense out.
Well, it's a good characteristic of every team that Lathrop coaches. They can run some time off the clock when they have to. They did it so very well when they won the state title in 1990. Had Javon Crudup on that team. And when they had to either rest him with foul trouble or run clock off toward the end of the game, they could do it.
And the one thing Ray South has is that advantage in the quickness department. You know, they can spread you out and make the quick move and really draw the defense and get some good matchups down underneath.
The one concern you always have when you go to the spread, particularly with 5 minutes to go in a ball game, is that you take your team out of its offensive flow, and suddenly they don't know how to get back in it if the other team gets closer.
I tell you, it almost appears that Coach Lathrop is just working on his spread offense here in this game. He really knows that his team can turn it on whenever he wants it to, especially against this team, but it looks like he's just working on some things for later on down the road.
Derek Durham can turn it on whenever he wants to, and he took it to the glass that time, and O'Hare with the foul.
Look at the dribble right there, and he gets by his man. You see the quickness there, the step, and then he gets Hack coming in, but that quickness, the quickness of his feet, being able to change directions and make that quick bursting move to the basket was really enabling him to make that play.
What a great season for Derek Durham, leading this team from the point guard position tonight. He's got 11 points. The son of Coach Lee Durham over at Southeast High School for years, forever.
You know, I know baggy shorts are in. His already come all the way down to his knees.
He's got mashed potatoes in those babies. Durham with both from the free throw line. He's got 12. A 9-point Cardinal lead with less than 4.5 to play.
And they're still playing that tough man-to-man defense, which is characteristic of this South team.
A double team in the corner on Dillingham. Knocked out of bounds by Bowie, and the Hornets have it.
You know, one thing you haven't heard in the fourth period is Klaus's name called. Ray South has done a great job defensively of taking him out of the offensive flow of the ball game.
And for most of the time, here he is from outside of three.
And that was from downtown.
A wake-up call from Duke Fry, and Klaus takes it up from long range, and it's a 6-point game.
You know, I said it was from downtown. Maybe it was from across the river since we are downtown.
Bowie working against Dillingham. Now it's Hill going to the rack. Rebound by Durham, and now Dillingham.
I'll tell you right now, Ray South, you know, your 6-point lead, and North Kansas City is really playing inspired. I think that three-pointer by Klaus right there really helped them get on track.
Klaus from outside again, and Duncan with the rebound. Well, it's so tough when the guards are between 5'10" and 6 feet for North Kansas City, and the people covering them are 6'3", around the 6'3" area, and they're quick. Tough to get off a shot.
And it's funny how much the South offense have changed right now. Now they're back into their motion offense. Forget the stall plan here. And they get a basket.
Dewan Hill with 8.
You know, Duke, sometimes that spread now really takes the tempo out of your offense and really gets you confused out there, and you're really not attacking the basket. You're trying to just hold on to the ball, so you're not looking to score.
Yeah, you worry about your team all of a sudden thinking we've got to hold on to the lead, not create a bigger lead.
Dillingham lets it fly. That's a 3. The lead is 5. And the Hornets say, we'll trade you 3 for 2 anytime.
They're going to have to do it quick, though.
Duncan down low.
They've got ground to make up if they start trading 3s for 2s.
That's right.
Anytime they need a bucket, they know the well to go to, and it's Phil Duncan, and that baby is still halfway full. Dillingham, now Christie to the baseline. Rebound Dillingham on the baseline. And Dillingham now in the second half has 7 points and 11 for the game.
But North Kansas City has to pick up the pressure up court a little bit more. They can't just sit back. They got to, defensively, their tempo has to change.
Yeah, now inside 2 minutes, they've got to create some things with their defense.
Hornets right in this one.
Well, Hare's really having a battle inside against Duncan, too. He's doing everything he can to keep him out of the paint.
Off Bowie, and now Dillingham has it. The Hornets down by 5 with the basketball. Coach Bill Durham has his team right where he wants them. Klaus. And he's fouled. The foul is on Bowie.
And this is what the Hornets want. If you can make up points while the clock stopped this late in the ballgame, that's a key. And you got to give a little credit to O'Hare. He may have gotten away with a foul on the other end defensively, but he forced the turnover.
Well, what else are you going to do down there?
You have to do something defensively to get your team back into it, and North Kansas City did that. They get the turnover, force it, but the one thing that they have to do is get Klaus into the offense, and he did that time.
Well, we're in the midst of a great basketball game, guys, and Show Me Showdown 92 once again is upon us. And we're involved in the state basketball championships here tonight, and this year's Class 1A and 2A boys and girls championships will be decided March 13th and 14th at the Hearn Center on the University of Missouri-Columbia campus. Ticket information for Show Me Showdown 92 is available at tonight's game or through your local State Farm agent. Well, Dillingham scored 7 points here recently, and he did it on some great moves along the baseline, and Bill Durham really has his team right where he wants them.
Well, here's a good look at the other side. Nice hustle. O'Hare got the tip and forced that rebound back outside for Dillingham, and Dillingham took it strong back to the hoop. Once you get it down low right now, you know you got to go right back up with it.
And there's Dillingham once again making the big three-pointer out front. I tell you, he's really turned things around for his team here in this fourth quarter. They're only down by 5-0. They're on the line, so the clock is not moving. So this is a big plus for North Kansas City. They knock these two down, and hey, we could be in the game because, as you know, the pressure starts to mount. And then sometimes shots get a little bit tighter than they normally would.
And they're on the line, and they're on the line with Matt Klaus, who's an 88% free throw shooter.
Well, Neil, your jinx holds up.
Oh, and look at that. Bill Durham saying, I can't believe it. Here's my best free throw shooter on the line, and he doesn't hit it. Well, that's high school basketball, though.
You just want to go put your arm around Durham. He just doesn't look like he's going to make it to the end of the game.
Here's the press.
What a great performance by his Hornet club tonight. He's got them right where they need to be. A 4-point lead for Raytown South and a foul against Dillingham. And that foul is against the sophomore Bowie, who is a 68% free throw shooter.
Well, I think you could see that if they weren't going to be able to force a turnover quickly, the idea was to foul, because Dillingham just slapped on in there, and that was not a defensive move in which you really thought you'd steal the basketball. So they wanted to stop the clock, put Ray South to the line, and hope for the best there.
And that's what you have to do in these situations. When you're down by that many, you got to make Ray South beat you at the foul line. And as you see, 71% free throw percentage. They've been knocking them
team's
down.
really been to the line much tonight, though.
Bowie missing. Hornets trail by 4 with the basketball. 1:13 to play.
And they've got several three-point threats out on the floor.
Dillingham with it. Remember, they're going to need 2 possessions here. So they might as well go for the 2. Klaus over Duncan, spanked out of there.
Boy, what a big block by Duncan.
Big block by Duncan.
And in the backcourt, a foul against the Hornets as DeJuan Hill took it up the floor. The foul is on Klaus.
When you looked at Klaus make that move, it looked like he'd made a great move to the hoop. But watch here. As he comes around, he's in the open, and all of a sudden, Duncan out of nowhere, and he does a great job of keeping his body away. And look at Durham. He's yelling, foul him. As they head down the other end, foul him, stop that clock.
56 seconds to play. DeJuan Hill at the free throw line. Well, DeJuan, one of the best free throw shooters on the team at 72%, and Bud Lathrop involved in more of a game tonight than he would like, I believe.
And this is the big free throw, because this means North Kansas City has to hit 2 threes just to tie. Instead, 2 threes could win it.
Exactly.
50 seconds to play. Klaus working against Lee, trying to create an opening for himself, and a foul out front. The foul is on Vince Lee. So again, you send Klaus to the free throw line at 88%. Well, this one's on the floor, and they're not yet in the 1-and-1.
And now Ray South wants a timeout.
You see the drive right here. There's a slap right there by Lee. At this time, you try not to foul. I mean, the penetration there, it could be a charge here. If you can keep out of the way, you got Duncan sitting there with excellent position, and the clock is running. Here, you foul them, you stop it, and then they're in a situation.
Well, you know, NBA coaches worry about this at the end of a ball game, and it's even harder on a high school coach when he knows these kids do these sort of things.
And high school hoops. Well, tonight's game, guys, is one of the contests which leads to the Show Me State's basketball showdown. And this year's Class 3A and 4A boys girls state championships will be held March 20th and 21st at the Hearn Center at the University of Columbia, or University of Missouri Columbia. Attend Show Me Showdown 92 and see high school hoops at its best. Ticket information is available tonight's game or through your local State Farm agent. Well, let's talk about the game a little bit. Bud Lathrop leading by 5 with 46 seconds to play. His team came in here on a roll, but North Kansas City came in here winning 15 of the last 19, so they weren't too shabby either.
Well, you got to think now that if North Kansas City can get a bucket here very quickly, they're either going to call a timeout to set up their defense, which they may have already done, or they're going to try and put the pressure on and foul immediately when the pass comes inside, and that would give them a lot of time to come back down at the other end of the floor to score again.
Looking to inbound, everyone covered. Finally, Dillingham breaks free. Launches a 3. It's blocked outside by Bowie.
Good defense by Bowie. Stayed in his face. As he was shooting, he didn't lean into the guy, and he gets the block.
Well, and then the foul is committed in the backcourt, and Vince Lee will go to the free throw line. The foul is on Klaus. Lee, a 76% free throw shooter, the leader on Raytown South's team.
One of the things you have to look for when you're trying to get that 3 in a situation like this is you need to set up a screen man for your man on the 3. Dillingham didn't have it that time on the outside. He had to try and do it one-on-one.
What I don't understand, sometimes Duke is wide when you have an opportunity. You're only down by 5 now. you can get the easy 2, you know, look for the 2-point instead of the 3. That time he forced up the 3, and the guy defender was right on him.
6-point game. Dillingham up the floor against Bowie. Into the paint, and he falls down. Klaus for 3. It's a 3-point game after Matt Klaus nails the 3, and Durham is fired up.
And North Kansas City is fired up. They're all off the bench right now.
Yes, they are, and they escaped one there. The ball was loose. He had enough presence of mind to kick it all over there to Klaus, and Klaus, you know, he's been accurate. We haven't called him much in the fourth quarter, but he hits down the big shot right there.
Well, the high school game of the week is replayed every week, and we do it at these times: Friday at 10:30 p.m., Saturday at 10:30 a.m., and then Monday at 9 p.m. And the helter-skelter environment created on that last play allowed Matt Klaus to launch a 3.
Well, it was Dillingham this time who hit the floor, lost the ball, but Klaus is the open man. Normally when that ball goes to the floor, people start flying for it, and somebody's going to end up open.
You know, Durham sitting there I hope it comes down to one shot and we get the ball in Klaus's hands, because I know he's got enough ability to make the shot. And that time, I tell you, this is where it gets tight. The games get tight right now.
This hasn't been a picture-perfect ball game for North Kansas City, but they've found a way to stay in there to the point right now that if everything goes right, one shot can win it for them.
And a lot of credit has to go to that guy right there for having his team where they're at right now. A 3-point lead for Raytown South with 25 seconds to play. And they inbound it to Durham. And quickly he is crushed in the backcourt by Mertz. That was a hip check into the boards.
Only 3 seconds ran off the clock, though. And Durham's going to go to the line now. And if he doesn't hit the free throws, North Kansas City's got a lot of time. You can see he gets away without an intentional foul call because he's going for the ball. But if Durham can't hit the free throws and North Kansas City can get the basketball back, there's plenty of time left.
You want to coach at the high school level, state tournament time? The stomach's churning. And Durham barely drawing iron. And now North Kansas City with a chance to tie. They trail it by 3 with 15 to play, and they call timeout. My goodness.
Well, if you're North Kansas City now, you've got to start thinking about how you want to set up this final shot. Obviously, you've got a couple of different guys. Actually, 3 probably you can go to. You can go to Klaus. He's probably your primary guy. Dillingham, but don't forget Christie, because he shot well from 3-point range tonight. So you got 3 different options, and you probably want to take that first 3 with about 4 to 5 seconds left so you can get a follow shot.
Exactly, and I tell you, if I'm Bud Lather sitting over there, the big man is Klaus. He's the one that hit the other shot. He's the guy I'd be defensive. Even though you don't want to give up anything, I'd have at least 2 guys concerned about Klaus at this moment.
During the following week, ESPN will broadcast 19 college basketball conference tournament games, including the ACC and Big 8 tournament championship games. They're all looking for a berth in the NCAA tournament. ESPN and American Cablevision for the best in college basketball. But we've got some great basketball right now going on at Municipal Auditorium. And Duke, we've got some great 3-point shooting going on tonight for North Kansas City.
Boy, you're right. Matt Klaus is the guy you'd think you want to go to. 4 of 5 from 3-point range. Christie 3 of 7 tonight.
15 ticks to go in this one. Christie gets the
If you're Raytown, do you foul?
Yeah,
exactly.
You do. But that's not about that foul as far as Raytown is concerned. They've run 3 seconds off the clock. It's now going to be a 1-and-1 situation, but that keeps them from tying the ball game up. And North Kansas City, I should say Raytown South now, wants timeout.
Exactly. I think that was a smart move to foul him, even though, you know, if you take a little more seconds off the clock, you put him on the line, then you got an opportunity to maybe seal the game away. But the foul, I think, was a good idea, because then you put them in the 1-and-1, they don't get an opportunity to shoot the 3.
So now, if you're North Kansas City, do you hope your guy hits both free throws and you turn it over, you force the turnover defensively, or do you, if he hits the first one, do you make him try and miss the second?
Well, I think he's got to go for both. He's got to hit both of them, then you go for the foul quickly. steal or foul quickly on the inbound. That's, if you're asking me, that's what I say. What do you think?
Well, I think that's true if he hits the first one. And he's got to make the first one, but you got to foul right away either way. You can't allow, if they can foul him in 2 seconds, get 10 seconds, they make them both, and they get down there and they got to make them. And then they got to still have an opportunity to make the play or get fouled when they come back for the
They still
shot.
have the chance to tie it all up with the 3. You're right.
So with 12 seconds to play, Bud Lathrop looking on. His team has won 13 straight games coming into this one. And he must watch at the foul line now as Andy Christie goes to the line.
The ideal scenario here, he makes them both. They got to inbound it. You foul right away, and then you hope that they miss one, and then you got some time left.
He looked pretty calm that time.
Christie, the senior, stroking it home there as Bud Lathrop and Bill Durham look on. It's a 2-point game now. It should be 1 point. Yeah, 43-42 is your score. A 1-point game with 12 seconds left. And entering is Jake Steve. Ray South works it well, and then the foul against Lee. What a great job. They designed that in the huddle. Talk about it, Durant.
Yeah, that was a great job. They pass the ball to the outside guy, the guy that's taking it inbounds to the other side, and then he acts as basically a screen, so to speak, and gets the ball in. But I think it was good for North Kansas City because defensively what they did, they didn't panic right away and foul. He could have easily traveled here. He almost did, but then they commit the foul, but they still have 10 seconds to go. He has to make these foul shots.
That's right.
The other great thing about it was that Vince Lee is their leading free throw shooter, and he was the guy they got free on the play.
That's a big foul shot right there. This one's even bigger.
This one's even bigger because this ensures no matter what happens, even a wild Hail Mary basket can't do anything more than tie him and send him in
Bud
overtime.
Lathrop, I think, is telling his team to foul.
And he wants him to. You're right.
Klaus moving it up the court. Nobody's trying to foul him, and then finally he calls timeout.
Well, with 4 seconds left, they're going to have a tough time setting up much. They've got to get a screen. He's got a little bit of time to move, but he's going to, whoever gets the ball in the inbounds is probably the guy that's going to have to shoot.
Well, I tell you, the guy that gets it on the inbounds, if he's back here behind this line, they're going to foul him, I guarantee you. I seen Bud Lathrop over there talking to his team. Why didn't they foul him when he was dribbling the ball down the court? So I would suspect that they would immediate foul the player to put him on the line and shoot the 1-and-1.
Bill Durham diagramming away in that North Kansas City huddle. Well, a couple of years ago, we did a game between Raytown South and Lee Summit, and that thing was just as crowded as all get out. With 19 seconds to play, Raytown South trailed in that game, but they were allowed to hit 3 3-pointers in the final 19. Nobody fouled Derek Cofield, and they went on to win that game in overtime, and I think Bud Lathrop wants nothing of that sort to happen here.
You pick one of these two guys. Maybe shoot here, and they should come up there. Come up here and take one of you for the shot.
Look for you, too. And you heard Bill Durham talking about you pick. You got to set screens so your guy can't get fouled.
And that's exactly what Ray South is going to do, try to foul him.
And I would not be surprised if Ray South actually commits a foul before the ball is ever inbounds.
4 seconds to play. It's a 3-point lead for the Cardinals. Christie free, launches a 3. Durham blocked it. And the ball game is over. Cardinals win it 45-42.
I'll tell you what, North Kansas City did a pretty good job of getting a very decent 3-point attempt off, but it was just good defense there that finally paid off for Ray South.
And you know, as you know, you go into this tournament, anything can happen. They've beaten this team twice this year, but here was for all the marbles. Now Ray South will go back and regroup and realize how tough it is to play in a state championship.
The North Kansas City crowd standing and applauding the effort of their Hornet team tonight. But Phil Duncan and his Raytown South Cardinals moving on in this one. as they move their record now to 26-4, and they've won 14 in a row. And Bud Lathrop has seen this before as he moves on in the state 4A playoffs. We'll be back with more after this.